I'm going to ask you a great question. Are you operating at your best right now? If you were to have a look at your performance over the course of the last 7 days, did you really hit it out of the ballpark? And this is a great question because we live in a world that is completely distracted. And if you think about it, it's about getting the foundations right. Now, Phil Stutz has an incredible documentary about Jonah Hill called Stutz, which is actually on Netflix. And I think about this thing called the foundation. And when you think about what is the things that allows you to go and be at your best, if you've got great relationships, you're pretty good. Outside of a great relationship, if you're in a position that you've got great health, that's even great. And then after you've got great health, if you've got some basic financial resource called some wealth, where you're in a position that you don't have to be so panicked about the price of blueberries, that changes everything. And then if you've got meaningful work. So think about that, relationships, health, what we're doing in wealth, what we're doing in work, that's the foundations. And then off the back of that, we've got this big circle around here, which is what we've got to call the environment. And the environment continues to change. So anything about getting back to your best, it's about committing to the routines that actually make you highly successful. What you're doing in terms of diet, exercise, sleep, what you're doing then in terms of being able to manage your mental task load. There is nothing more freeing than writing out a task list or writing out a list of all the things that are currently overwhelming you and identifying what you can go and do something about. Then, in addition to that, really thinking about what you can do to manage and to grow your emotions. We know that relationships are the key to renewal, but also to making sure that you're playing great music so you can go and feel at your absolute best. And outside of that, making sure that you've got a very clear set of values, because there is nothing worse than something that is happening outside of your value systems that drains energy and gets you upset. So let's get you back to your best. Let's establish some brand new routines. Let's get you into that position that you start eating well, that you start exercising well, that you start sleeping well, but most importantly, you start doing the things that ultimately are going to make you great. The best thing that I like to do is to think about editing your life and editing it frequently. I want you to write down all the things right now that are causing you friction on the inside of your life. And in addition to that, I want you to write down all the things that you find yourself right now that you're still doing that you no longer need to do because they no longer serve you well. The ability to change can happen in just that moment. And you don't need a holiday to feel refreshed. There is nothing quite like that ability to be able to provide that amount of relief in your own mind in any given moment. And the skill set is about learning how you put great barriers around you to be able to make sure that we keep you on the track and that you're performing at your absolute best. And that was one of the great tools that we were actually taught by Dr. Edward Hallowell in what we got to call PTO, Positive Task Orientation. He said, Josh, you have a Ferrari engine for a brain, but you have bicycle brakes. You have the ability to ultimately spin spectacularly out of control. But ultimately, the best thing to do is to stay on the track, man, is to have a list of your PTO, Positive Task Orientation. Go for a ride, go for a run, play some music, get more energized, do something that really matters. So then you can go and perform at your absolute best. And it's an incredible skill to be able to get rid of those automatically negative thoughts and to get you back to your best and to get you performing so that you can be the agent that you're capable of being.